Hello there. Today we're going to be talking about picture style. It's a topic that's not often explained very well, but we're going to be looking at shooting in JPEG and in RAW and in video. Let's take a look. Okay, and interestingly, this works really well for video. Well, I'm not sure how well it works. Let me show you some examples. This is all your picture style adjustments on the right. Now they've all been changed to the left. Picture style is the ability for your camera to adjust contrast, sharpness, saturation, and color tone. In just a second we'll take a look at what those adjustments look like and how to access them. Your camera does this by adjusting the actual pixels in the JPEG so that your adjustments are actually part of the final shot. Or in a RAW file, in most cases, there's something called a sidecar, which is an XMP file that is attached to or goes along with your RAW file. As far as I'm aware, that the latest CR2 files from Canon, actually that data is incorporated in the file itself. However, what this means is when you open those RAW files in an editing program, the picture style and additional data is not actually going to be applied to the photos. So what you have to do is open that using Canon's editing suite and then resave those files as a TIFF or Photoshop with those adjustments applied, and then you can edit that in your chosen program. Okay, now time for the fun part. Let's look at how picture style actually affects your images. And when we do this, I'm going to show you the menu system as well. So first off, we're going to hit menu and navigate to picture style. Enter there. Scroll down to any of the picture styles. I like to use user default 1, 2, and 3 to set my own. I'm going to hit the info button, and then from here I can scroll down to the individual style that I'd like to change. So we can start with sharpness, hit the set button, and then you can scroll that to the left or to the right. This is an example of all the settings turned down to the negatives. Now, keeping everything negative but adding the sharpness back and putting it all the way to the positive side. Bringing sharpness all the way back to 0 and contrast all the way up to the farthest right side. Contrast is back and saturation is up to the max. This time we have color tone to the far right. And this is everything to the max. What we'll do here is we'll keep it at the max, but we'll take something away one by one. When we take it away, we're not going to the other side, we're going back to the middle. Alright, so we're taking it from the max to the middle on color tone. Now saturation has been brought from the max to the middle. Now contrast has been brought to the middle. Now sharpness in the middle. Obviously using these settings to the max isn't a really good idea, but you can see how applicable it is when you change some of these settings to better suit a certain situation, whether it be portraits or otherwise. You are able to see you might want more sharpness or a softer image, or adjust the color tone, or even adjust the saturation. You might want to edit the photo and bring back more detail in the highlights and the shadows, therefore lower the contrast when you shoot. Okay, so for the settings that I use, just today I found out that I like for video +2 on the sharpness, saturation and contrast to be 0 where they naturally are in the middle there, and color tone to be at the -1, maybe even -2. And when I actually shoot architecture, portraits, and other shots, I actually do adjust picture style most of the time according to the scenario, so the look and feel that I want for that photo. Obviously for portraits it's going to vary depending on the subject. Business person's headshots can be very different from maternity photos. And with the architecture, it comes down right down to preference. Oftentimes the white balance I find is more important, but then of course sharpness can play a big role in that too. And if you're shooting odd colored subjects, products, or even colored walls, you might want to be specific about that color tone just to make sure your colors are accurate. My thoughts are you might not want to tweak these too much, but it could help. Thanks for watching.